Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Deborah. It is an injustice because they are the ones who caused it all. In 2020, they came after me like psychopaths circling, and they continuously have done this for years, whether it be my baby mama's mama or daddy, because Johanna lives with mommy and daddy, so it always creates a friction and an issue. And then Bobby Joe, Johanna's sister, who lives in North Carolina, doesn't come up here, if at all. Comes up in 2020, creates a shitstorm. I tell them no. I don't want River to be a part of their lives because I know what toxicity exists every time she comes back. And that's partly the problem I'm dealing with today with my child. You know, I'm the best this child has. I'm the only thing this child has to a functional future. And with her pre-teenage years and her adolescence and her becoming more defiant, more like her mother, well, the reason that is because of the influence they've had on her by poisoning her mind and telling her to hate her dad and don't listen to her dad. That started in 2020. That started in 2016. They've never been happy with me having custody. They've never been sufficient enough until I bleed. And it's a bullshit arrest. It's a bullshit charge because they tried to stick me in everything else in the world. And they kept poking me. Oh, they go take River to the cops and say I threw something at her. That didn't work. CPS at my door. That didn't work. And on it would go. Until I explode. You know, honestly. Because, not to them, but, you know, around me. Because it just made me so upset. I wasn't having anything to do with them. I didn't want anything to do with them because they kept on pushing and accelerating it for years and years and years. So you have to understand the frustration, the stress, the anxiety, and sometimes, yes, it fucking sucks all the joy and all the happiness out of what you do because you have psychos who are just circling, waiting for the next bad move. And this whole thing goes back to 2020. In 2019, 2018, during the custody trial, when I fought for River, and when I had to take so much lives of shit, because they would call me every nasty name in the book, and every nasty name in the world, and they would go after my family, they would go after my mom, and my grandma, and everybody else in between. So in all practicality, if anybody should be held accountable for their actions, it's the Hart family. It's the mother, it's the mom, it's the dad, it's the sister for causing all this, for their harassment, for their intimidation, and for all the shit they have caused. I'm the last person that should be arrested for anything, and especially on my vacation. So I've been taking a little bit of time the past couple days, past 5 days. I don't know what to say to River right now. She's at grandma's at the current moment because I'm trying to wrap my mind around this whole situation, and I needed some me time because after everything that happened and everything that's gone on, I was like, okay, I need to focus on myself right now. River can stay at grandma's for a moment. She can come home in a couple days. I just needed some time for me to focus on what I have to do next. Trying to come up with $750 to pay a good attorney so at least I have a feasible defense. And at least I'm able to fight. And at least I have a chance to win. An attorney who understands the history. Attorney who understands and dealt with me before and understands all the mayhem, because this case is just not as cut and dry as it seems. Because it is because of them that this was caused. And then Bobby Joe runs back to North Carolina and we never see her again. So I haven't talked to Bobby Joe in a year. I made sure River had no conversations or no communications with her in over the past year. So as far as I'm concerned, the farther the distance away, the better off I will be. Because the daytime between me and my baby mama is peaceful at the current second, but don't let it fool you. In a moment's notice, she'll turn on me and flip on me. And she will do everything she can to get River back from me. I always know that. So if I go to jail over these bullshit charges and this bullshit arrest, everything I've built, everything I've done in the past 5 years is for nothing. They take it all away. They take custody away. They take River away because I go to jail. So there has never been a comfortability for me having custody that says you're going to have for the next 7 years. You're going to fight, and you're going to fight until you have no fight left. Because nobody's ever happy until you're suffering. So the fact remains true, brothers and sisters. La Familia, Michelle Edmonds, I love you. Carol, thank you. Appreciate your kindness. Ellie, Manchester, England, thank you from the bottom of my heart. All our family community. Sammy, thank you. Tanya, love you. Appreciate you all. Maria, send you big giant warm hugs. Because yes, I have no choice but to fight this and to go to trial with it. It's the only choice I have. And if I stick with a public defense attorney, they don't know the history, they don't know the nuance, and they won't know how to defend me best. And I won't take no bullshit deals, and I won't take the court fines and the court costs and paying the bullshit. No, that's injustice in my estimation, because they tax the poor. They pick on the poor. This is something that could have just went away and gone away and had nothing else to do with it, because we've had nothing else to do with each other for the past year. I don't ever want to speak to Bobby Joe again. I don't want her around River. I don't even want her mother around River most times, or the family, because of the toxicity of the environment. So thank you to all our family community worldwide, from Islamabad, baby, to Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. This is my truth. And I'm just going to put it on YouTube, and then we'll load it up for our family community, because I think my truth should be heard. Because all I've ever done is what's best for my child, and in return, now I'm having everything taken away from me, and I'm having everything pulled away from me. And if I go to jail for 90 days, what's going to be left of me? And that's the scary part to this whole situation. I've never done anything wrong. I'm 100% not guilty of all crimes, because this crime is bullshit arrest over a supposed hug. And if someone's so threatened and so scared, then why do they file the charges, run to North Carolina, and never seen again? Why are they so intimidated and scared when they've tried 4 or 5 different ways? They're the ones who are scaring us. They're the ones who should be arrested. They should be the ones underneath the microscope, not us. Not me. That's for certain. So yeah, I want to focus on what I want to do, is focus on River and put my life together the way it should be. But I can't right now. I have to focus on my defense. I have to focus on trying to stay alive. I have to focus on trying to make sure that I don't go to jail, because if I go to jail, then they can take me back to court and petition for custody. And that's what they get all along, and what they wanted all along. So I can't let them win one more time, and I can't let them take everything left from me. The only thing I got left is my 2 girls, River, Kiwi, Elsa, Sons of Anarchy, and our family community. And I love you with all my heart. And I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm just sad and depressed, because this situation should have never, ever, ever, ever. I should have never been arrested. I should have never been in jail. I shouldn't have to face the possibility of 90 days in jail for a bullshit arrest and a bullshit charge. So I'm wanting to be honest with our family community, tell you the truth. This is historical bad blood that my defense is very easy. And at least I'm laying the groundwork and the track work now, because I know I never did anything wrong. They did everything wrong, and they have continuously done everything wrong. So yes, I have to say my truth. It's sad, it's depressing, and I appreciate everybody's support. And I appreciate everybody's kindness, because yes, River will ultimately be the one that has to see all this. And I can't put into words, except I try to shield her from it, but she sees her dad gets arrested. Well, I had to take a couple days, because I knew I don't want those kind of questions, because I don't know what to say to him. All I can say is, this is bullshit. I should have never been arrested. And for her to see her father get arrested, it's not right. It is. It's not. None of this is right. None of this is fair. It's an injustice all the way around. So thank you to our family community. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you're able to watch this and understand my truth and understand what I'm going through, because I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And sometimes with Twitter, you only can do 2-minute videos. Well, I wanted to go and say my piece, say my truth, and let the family community know how much I love you and how much I appreciate you, and tell you the full story of what's going on here, because it's not as cut and dry as people think. It's a very complicated, messy case that involves Johanna's sister, and it's a bullshit arrest, and it's a bullshit charge. That honestly, the charges should have been dismissed. The charges should have never went anywhere. Only if I could air out my case, air out my grievances, and be able to tell my truth like I am now. I'm willing to get on the stand for sure because I've done that before for custody. I had no choice. I had to get on the stand for custody. So I've been underneath the microscope where you have the defense attorney or the prosecuting attorney, in this case, question you and grill you. Well, I'm used to that. So I'm able to get on the stand, and in all practicality, if I have to, I'll be my own attorney. I've learned a lot with custody suits. I've learned a lot with this custody battle. I've learned a lot dealing with custody. I've learned how to be an attorney, learned how to act like an attorney, learned how to question like an attorney. I'm not saying I'm an attorney, but when push comes to shove and I'm like, public defense attorney, have no money for an attorney, or represent yourself. What are you going to do, right? So, from the bottom of my heart, family community, I love you, and I hope you know that no matter what happens, if I go to jail, don't go anywhere. If anything happens to me, know that this won't be the end. It's just something that's dragging all the joy, and I have to focus all my energy now on my defense and staying alive and making sure I keep custody of River, because I can't let the past 5 years just go away in an instant because of a bullshit charge and a bullshit arrest that should never exist and should never been pressed in the first place, because it was a desperate move by them after all their criminal behavior, after all their criminal actions, and after all their harassment and intimidation and threats and everything they've done. It was no fair. It's just not. So it ruined my vacation. It ruined everything I've planned, and I'm kind of going to stay home for a minute in my cave, and River will come home in a couple days. But for now, for me, it was an ability to take a few days, get my head on straight, wrap my mind around all this, and hopefully, I will be able to be found not guilty. All this goes away, and then I don't have to deal with it anymore, and I can go back to my life. Where River's entering middle school in the fall, and we can go on without our lives, without Bobby Joe involved, without the Hearts or anybody fucking with our shit anymore. So I love you, family community. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to tell my truth, and I wanted to be able to speak my heart and soul to you and let you know my love, my gratitude to you is never ending. For everything you said, all our family community, Deborah, love you, Carol, thank you. Love you, Michelle Edmonds. Love this family community stronger than ever. Maria, Tanya, Candace, Carol, Deborah, Thunder Bay to Islamabad. Daddy's going home. I love you all. I appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. I hope you understand me better after this. Figure there's no better way to air my truth than we'll just do it. We'll air it, and hopefully you'll understand it. Love you all. Send you a big giant warm hug.